finisher he's becoming.
Lane, Oladipo. Oh! That's right. You better mean mug after you dunk on somebody that way.
Gonna run it down. He goes with it. Adebayo for the win.
Welcome into Post Up 5R. This is an unusual hosting spot for me, but I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick at 5 Reasons Sports. We got our guy Jonathan Romlicon. You can follow him at 3-Piece Combo. You may be listening to this on the 5 on the Floor podcast feed if we decide to put it on there. If we do, appreciate you finding us there as well. Greg Sylvander is going to join us after the Miami Heat lose to the Sacramento Kings by 2. Jimmy Butler with a shot at the rim, at the buzzer. Couldn't get it to go twice late in the game, late in third quarter and also in the fourth. The Heat had opened up a 7-point lead and then let the Kings get right back into it, largely with a lot of three-point shooting, attempts from outside. Jimmy, I thought, was not aggressive enough during certain parts of this game. Lowry and Hero started slow, Jonathan, but they both picked it up. But I don't know, defensively, I know we're going to talk about Yurt's rebounding, but they didn't stop anybody at the rim tonight. And they just kind of, I don't want to say they ran out of bodies because I thought that they had enough tonight, John. But again, they got a shot they wanted at the end, but I don't think it should have come to that.
Yeah, there was points in this game where we should have started to run away with it, right? Like you said, they've opened up 2 7-point leads in different parts of the game. And give credit where credit's due, where the Sacramento Kings are one of the best teams at getting to the line. And they did that consistently all game long. They were attacking us, driving us. Yurtseven was great on offense, and we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. But defensively, they were attacking him on the drop, getting to the mid-range, and then getting to the line a lot of times. So it was really tough there. Silva looked really not so great when he was on there in his minutes as well. Like somebody said in the comments, that's why 10-day guys are 10-day guys. But this game was definitely closer than it should be. But as Greg brought up in the pregame, games against Sacramento always tend to be close, right? And De'Aaron Fox tends to be the guy that always puts the nail in the coffin, especially at the end. So it was a tough game. Tyler Hero started to pick it up later after he hit those free throws. He started to pick it up. Kyle Lowry, another double-double. Yurt, phenomenal game. He even hit a pretty clutch jumper in the end there to bring us back close. But it wasn't enough. Jimmy was just as close, but unfortunately wasn't able to get it in.
Yeah, Greg, I was thinking about that at the end of the game. We talked about that. It does seem with Sacramento, it always comes down to a De'Aaron Fox play one way or the other. It kind of did. They got the look they wanted with Jimmy late. We appreciate all the comments that come in. That's what you want. The problem was they didn't get the looks with Jimmy earlier in the fourth quarter. It felt like there were some kind of, I don't know, sort of lazy threes that he tends to take when he's a little bit gassed or just doesn't want to kind of run the entire offense, or maybe he's
on
frustrated.
One leg.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff. Here's the thing. Nobody can guard him when he gets down in the post. When he misses, it's like that last play of the game where it's just, it's a bad roll there, basically. But he was getting to those spots. He just didn't seem to want to. I don't know. And again, I'm not going to kill them over one loss during this stretch where they've had a lot of wins you wouldn't expect them to get. But they had enough tonight, I thought. I thought Caleb was good enough in stretches. The bad 3-point foul, it happens. Yurt gave him the rebounding. They had 5 or 6 competent guys tonight. Probably should have been enough.
No, you're totally right. And Jimmy Butler, the team shot 12 of 12 from the free throw line. Jimmy Butler had 2 free throw attempts. That's not Jimmy Butler stuff. So ultimately, I expected on this road trip, he may need to be a little inefficient at times and get shots up just for them to manufacture points. 9 of 22. I'm okay with that. They can win a Jimmy game where he goes 9 of 22, only 2 from the free throw line. That's not going to work. And then the other thing that I just think is really interesting to see how this trend continues. The Miami Heat shot 27% from 3, which is below league average, below their average. And they lost. And it's the reoccurring theme of literally they are living and dying by the 3-point shot. And it's going to stay that way until the playoffs arrive and they have their full cast of characters. They may be able to rely on it a little less.
Can we talk about Yurt a little bit? Because I feel like we saw the really good potential of Yurt and also some of the concerns. Thanks, James, for the comment. We'll definitely get to all the super chat comments. And yeah, Royal, we will expedite your return here a little bit, I think. That may happen. Maybe that's why I did this. But this comes in from James, and I'll get to Yurt. Pull that one back up, Jonathan. Sucks we lost, but looking at the whole picture with all the guys out, these nights will happen. Still 9 games over 500 with everything going on. I think we agree with that in the macro completely, right? I mean, the fact that they're 10 games over 500 under all of the circumstances that have occurred is a tremendous accomplishment for them and for the team. I think we just look at a game like this and we're like, okay, Sacramento tends to piss these games away. It looked like they wanted to do it again. And I do think Miami got lazy defensively a lot with their core guys. I'm not going to bang them for the Chris Silva. He's going to be gone soon. Okay. I thought Kyle Guy gave him some decent minutes, but like defensively, I'm not going to kill them for what guys who are not going to be here in 2 weeks are doing. But with their core guys, I thought that they allowed Sacramento to score too easily. And let's go to this, because for right now, Yurt is one of their core guys, right? Like, he is signed to them. He's done a tremendous job from a rebounding perspective. He's scored. But, Jonathan, he doesn't really look like he knows where to go defensively. And I thought Mateo from our network tweeted us, they were like shooting 80% in the paint at one point tonight. He's not ready to be that guy yet.
Yeah, and before I get to that point, thanks, Royal, for the $4.99 dono. Pay the bills, Ethan.
Yes.
People want to know about insurance by Lynette and CPT Florida, so we'll
They
get to
do.
those. But like you said, defensively, he still has a ways to go, right? And he has the frame to do it because you can see he's lanky, right? He has that length to him. He has that nose for the ball, that ability to kind of drive guys away and get into that space for the ball. But as far as it comes defensively, he's just not able to move his feet as fast just yet. So he still has some ways to go there. But, I mean, you still have to just think about what he did, right? He gave you a phenomenal game, and he's still single digits in how many starts than he has in the NBA. This guy is super raw. This was one of those guys we picked up at the end of last season, I believe. It's kind of like Kendrick Nunn all over again, right? We picked him up at the end of last season, developed him during the summer season, and now he's starting to blossom a little bit more. Obviously, he's not going to have the amount of time to grow when you get more guys back, but what he's been able to do in this short span of time offensively and on the glass has been nothing short of amazing. Defensively, he, like you said, he still has a lot of things to work on, but with the guys that you have there, UD, PJ Tucker, I think he'll be able to develop those chops.
All right, we do want to mention our sponsors. Thank you, Royal. We appreciate that, but this was thrown together last minute here. So we do want to thank Lynette, who's always a commenter on the pregame show, actually. She joins us on Before Floor quite a bit. You can find her at Aggressive Insurance, 954-581-8800, 954-581-8800. Can help you with all kinds of insurance, whether it's life insurance, health insurance, but also we always mention the car insurance. If you have a bad driving record, she is the person to go to. She can certainly help you out with that. I know someone personally who has the worst driving record I've ever seen. She got her good insurance. Well, the person didn't last very long with the person, but that's another story entirely. Reach out to Lynette, 954-581-8800. That's 954-581-8800. Reach out to Lynette Drummond at Aggressive Insurance Agency. Also, CPT of South Florida is also a great sponsor of 5 on the Floor. If you are looking for IT help, CPT of South Florida is where you want to go. Go to cpt-florida.com. Reach out to TJ, his great group over there. They've also got a great deal where they get you some free phones and some service for the first 2 months if you mention 5 reasons. So go to cpt-florida.com. Reach out to TJ. Local companies that support the 5 Reasons Sports Network, we ask that you support them as well. All right, let's get to it. We're talking about Yurt. And yeah, I mean, Greg, the rebounding, the touch are great. The spatial awareness on defense, you can see it. But we don't really know who he's going to be playing next to when he plays, right? So this is just kind of, I mean, he's being thrust in there with Jimmy and Hero. And I want to talk about Hero a little bit when we go forward, because there was some interesting stuff that came up during the game about him, which we probably would have potted about if we'd done the pod. But with Yurt, I mean, now that we've seen him a little bit more, do you see expanded minutes for him at some stage? And who does he play next to?
That's a tough question. I think when everybody's healthy, he actually will take a step back, and they're going to basically be able to justify that, like from a just from the perspective of that he's still young. Dwayne Dedmon is a vet, and he's ready to contribute now. But this is an informative stretch. I mean, 8 straight games with double-figure rebounds, 4 straight double-doubles. Like, that means that in increased minutes and usage, they've simplified the game for him in ways that they don't do for Bam, because Bam is just more intricate in the way that he goes about things. So the way that they've simplified it, he's been able to thrive. So to me, it's nothing but positive. I wouldn't worry too much about like lineup combinations or how it's going to eat into his minutes at this point, because at some stage, maybe Dedmon looks a little flat. So you have the ability to plug Yurt in here and there. So to me, it's all good things. And I know we mentioned on our 2022, like things we're looking ahead to and we hope for. And what I led with was kind of a micro small adjustment. And that's, I would love to see Yurt and Bam together. And that's because I think that it's not that Yurt is anything like Brook Lopez. It's just that I think that they can be smart enough defensively and good enough offensively to make that work as two bigs together if they need to match up that way, in a way that Bam and Dwayne Dedmon could never. So that's why I'm interested in that go forward.
Yeah, this has now officially become a before floor edition of Post Up 5R as Brady joins us. So let's get to this this topic about Hero that I wanted to touch on, because he starts 12 of 6. Okay. And his numbers percentage-wise as a reserve this year are better than as a starter. I mean, the numbers are the numbers. I know that he's been in and out in terms of which starters he's played with, but he has been better as a reserve than as a starter this year. But then he started to heat up a little bit. And it did look like he got comfortable, Brady, with Lowry and Jimmy, where at least he was playing off of Kyle. He started to find some rhythm. And then again, I just thought Jimmy played a lazy offensive game tonight. Like, is it fair to say that? Because I felt like Tyler was starting to figure it out, but then Jimmy started taking some bad 3-point shots.
Yeah, it felt like Tyler and Jimmy almost flipped in terms of halves. Like, it felt like early on Tyler was that guy, and then late Tyler got it going when Jimmy didn't. Both of them were over 20 attempts, and it was an inefficient 20 attempts. So I think that just tells you what kind of game it was. But I think in comparison to last season, you're seeing a different Tyler in terms of last game when he was off. He was able to get it in the passing lanes where he was able to feed other guys and get 10-day contracts basically going in a way that he wasn't able to do last season. I think in this one, when he was off last season, he was off. Like, there was no flipping a game in a 48-minute stretch where he comes out in the second half and he turns it around. He kind of did that in a little bit tonight. I felt like maybe they could have put the ball in his hands a little bit more in the fourth when he got going. But I think that is a promising factor. If you're going to look at a positive side of this, is that Tyler's finding ways. If he is off, it's not just, we have to shelve him for this game because he's not got it going. He can figure it out within a game, and not to use the same excuse over and over. But when you have a full load of guys on the team and you have everybody around him and you have, not Haywood Highsmith and Chris Silva being the front court around them, then it's a different kind of ball game for him.
That comment about throwing up when Jimmy threw up the one-legged three. I'm with you. Dwayne used to do that stuff, right? Like, particularly late career Dwayne, when he just, I don't know, he just didn't.
Different level of equity there. I love Jimmy to death.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know what was with him tonight. I mean, usually 95% of the time, I agree with his decision making. One of the best decisions he made was the last play of the game.
Yeah.
Just didn't go, but that's what I wanted to see more of during the game. Let's talk a little bit about some of the 10-day guys and the additions. We didn't see Rio again tonight. We thought we might. Sacramento, it didn't turn into that kind of a game. Maybe it's possible. Look, Spo knows Mario pretty well. He just may not be in the kind of shape Eric wants right now. I think that's very possible. I mean, he knows Mario, and no matter how you're working out, and we also said it, Rio didn't look great in the spotlight game either. So this did feel a little more ceremonial. It's starting to feel more and more ceremonial now. Like the Heat account wanted to tweet out some Mario Chalmers highlights. We changed our avatar. Then the fact that they really thought that he could help. I mean, Stauskas got minutes tonight. Actually made a big bucket. A turnaround jumper.
Yeah. Highsmith, 15 minutes.
Highsmith got minutes. Kyle Guy got minutes. I thought some of his passing was pretty good. I really like Chris Silva's story. I really like him personally. I really didn't need to see him play for the Heat again after last season, right? Jonathan, I mean, there's not – I don't know. That just seems to be like a guy they just thought would understand the system. But I thought they'd kind of give it up on that. Like, there's nothing there. Is there?
No, there's absolutely nothing there. I mean, to your point, like you said, you're bringing a guy back that you hope would know the system, be able to run a few plays a game, if anything, just for him. He doesn't even have the hands to catch the ball if he's in the right position to do anything with it. I mean, there was a couple times the ball just literally hit his hands and went straight out of bounds. Like, he has the worst hands. We've seen some pretty bad hands in the Miami Heat history. He probably has the worst hands in Heat history.
Nah, I think Joel is. We're gonna get the commenters in on this. You don't even have to send us money for that. Does Chris Silva have worse hands than Joel Anthony, Greg? I mean,
Yes.
Does Precious qualify? Because I jinxed Precious personally. Because when Precious first came,
it was bad.
I was like, "Wow, he's like the anti-Joel Anthony. He's got strong hands inside." And I was wrong.
You know what,
that.
Silva? It feels like they were like, okay, who can we find that we know is probably in shape, and we know that he's going to play really, really hard? Chris Silva, he'll do those two things, and they figure, like, for 12 minutes, get that burst, but it did not work out. And I hope that they play the dude that they found in Austin, right? That's where he was. Because Brady alluded to it, like, why not give him a shot to play in a situation like this? But Ethan, you got to something that I think is worth mentioning when we talk about the 10-day guys. If these games are close, Spo ain't playing all those guys. The love story, the beautiful story of Mario Chalmers, that is out the window when it's
unless tomorrow he just says screw it. We're not winning this game anyway. It's a second night of a back-to-back. We're in Golden State.
Rio would go toe-to-toe with Steph,
30 minutes on Steph. 30 minutes on Steph. Just chase his ass around. Get yourself in shape, and maybe he'll be around here in 2 weeks.
That'd be ugly.
Mario, MF, and Chalmers. Yeah, I mean, if that happens, at least that'd be a reason to watch, because I'm not sure that there would be another one. But I guess, Brady, what frustrated me about Jimmy tonight was, in light of the fact that tomorrow looks like an unwinnable proposition, I really thought he would play a focused, passionate, smart, efficient game tonight. Get the one tonight. You're not winning tomorrow anyway. I mean, as I say that, they'll probably win by 20. And Ricky will clip it and throw it out, and Greg will tell me I got no guts. But I just think that, like, I don't know. I mean, tonight was the one, and he just didn't. I wanted to see the Jimmy from 2 nights ago. It didn't have to be 37 points, okay? But just like attack until you can't anymore.
I feel like when you look at a Jimmy game, you can always tell what kind of game it is by the number of attempts he has from 3. Like, it's not even the 1 for 6 from 3. It's just that he had 6 attempts from 3, and it feels like that's when it starts to become a little bit lazier, and he's just like, let me fling up this 3. I don't need to work it into the post or get to the line. It's just, I'm just going to shoot this corner 3 with 7 seconds left on the shot clock. That was pretty much a tell. Yeah, like you said, 2 free throws tonight is just is another tell. Like, that just kind of shows what they were. They were the whistles. A lot of guys were getting the whistle tonight. It wasn't like it was one of those games,
right?
So I think that was interesting. Like I said before, like when you're not, we can talk about them having Tyler, they have Kyle, they have Jimmy, and you're in a perfect spot. But like when those two are not playing well, Kyle was playing well. Like I feel like that's something we have to mention too. Like Kyle was getting going in that second quarter where it was like a run with. They like spanned for like 5 straight possessions, Omer and Kyle pick and rolls, and it was both of them were going, and everything was kind of looking to transcend in a positive direction because it was just working really well. Kyle had like 2 threes at that point. He was kind of working through some really well in the mid range. He had 5 assists at that point. You just can't really throw away those Kyle games because it feels like we've been talking about so much how Tyler's so consistent at this stage, and Jimmy's so consistent. You know what you're getting from those two. These type of games, I know I've been talking, this is not a terrible loss. I don't think it's surprising. Like, I don't think this is a terribly surprising loss in my opinion, because I think they still won against Houston. Like, I know they should have won because they had top guys, but it just feels like when you have a full bench of 10 days, like this isn't a surprising loss. There's still 9 games over 500, but still this is a game you probably should have got with the upcoming schedule. Right. Because as you mentioned, because Golden State, Phoenix, even Atlanta would probably be close. I think Portland would be a decent game. Like, these are games that you don't want to rely on. But Ethan, as you said on Before Floor, they could be getting some guys back here pretty soon. Right. Like Max, Gabe, Dedmon should be around the area of it, returning from his injury. PJ could be coming out of protocol. So it just feels like guys getting back is one thing. But obviously, this is a game that you probably have to get, and it is time to focus on Jimmy in a game like this.
All right, let's go through some of those guys again and what we expect. I would anticipate Max is back first. He went into protocols first. Yeah. Vaccinated and boosted, my understanding, and I mean the whole team is, but I checked on him specifically. So I think
Gabe next.
Shortened time. So right, so you're gonna get Strus and Vincent back. So that changes things a little bit. Maybe we see a little less Kyle Guy. We probably don't see Stauskas at all. and then the Rio dream, I guess, ends after he 48 minutes against Steph Curry.
Could you imagine if he
It's
doesn't
with
ever
Vincent coming
play,
back.
Ethan? Oh my gosh.
I mean, they have to get him in. Lynette, our friend Lynette, the length was bothering Jimmy. I will say it looked like he just didn't want to challenge it. In certain games it just looks like he doesn't want to go inside.
He didn't initiate the contact. Sometimes with that length, like he just leans into it and gets hacked, and he just didn't do that for some reason. He was just
the worst one tonight, and I tweeted it, was he got under the basket on the baseline. He had a reverse layup, and he passed it to Highsmith for a 3. Look, I get it, okay, that you're trying to trying to be unselfish, play the same way. He's a 10-day. He's not even a 3-point shooter. Like, you're Jimmy effing Butler. Like, you're making $45 million. Thank you, Soldier. Regarding the 10 days, I feel like Kyle Guy plays well within the flow of the offense. Great court vision. Highsmith is a good spacer. Where's Depot? First thing, Guy's a much better passer than I knew. I think that's positive. So the space. Highsmith being a spacer, again, we'll see. I think we need to see more, but I think we talked about this on before floor. He's the kind of guy that we all sort of think, Brady's hit on this, that they may come back to down the road. Depot, was he on the bench tonight? No, he hasn't been traveling. He didn't travel on this trip.
Yeah, no, I think
they left him at home. I think they're trying to stay away from any of the COVID situations. Let's go through some of these players here while we got a minute. Strus and Vincent we expect back soon. Dedmon was a 1 to 2 week timetable. We're getting close to the end of week 1, right? PJ Tucker went home to Houston to quarantine. My understanding is he's healthy now from what was bothering him with his leg. Just a question of getting out of protocol. He won't be back for Golden State. Could be back after that. Morris, after tweeting at me, to basically shut my mouth and he would be back soon. We've seen him on the court 3 times at home, and but no word on him beyond that. And Bam, although he's on the road, I feel like people are starting to figure out that Greg and I had the initial timeline correct, because he's not going to be back in the 4 to 6 weeks that Woj spoke about, right? What
was the date of the surgery? That's what we need to keep track of.
I'll have to look back at it, but I think isn't it 4 weeks since surgery at this stage? Which means it's 5 weeks since the injury, because we had it at 8 weeks plus from the time of injury. Woj reported 4 to 6 from time of injury.
Yeah, I just can't remember the surgery date, if it was the 6th or the 11th or one of those 2 dates in early December. But we'll keep tracking. I don't want to be right. I want Bam to be back on the court.
I think it was the 7th that he had the surgery, right? So we're now at 4 weeks. We're 4 weeks since surgery, basically.
Correct.
Okay. And so this is the front end of what the Heat said since surgery, right? What did the Heat say since surgery? 4 to 6? Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. You think he's going to be back in the next 2 weeks? I don't.
No, not at all. No, I'm telling you, he's going to – I don't think he'll play in the month of January. And also I think with the emergence of some of these guys and even some of these two-ways, depending on how the COVID stuff works, I think they're going to be a little more careful with Depot, honestly.
Yeah.
And I personally, although right before the season started, there were people close to him saying that he'll be hooping by December. And that hasn't obviously came to fruition. I'm thinking that they may slow play it and you'll see something in February.
Why would they rush it?
Yeah, exactly. They're a game or two out of the one seed.
Well, it's the standings, Greg, but it's also Gabe Vincent, I think, has exceeded even their expectations to this point. So why do you rush? I mean, we're talking about this, if they just get Vincent back, if they just get Strus back, they have enough, right? So it's kind of if you look at it from that perspective, if we're counting on those guys now, they're counting on those guys now, to the point that, do they need to force feed Oladipo minutes when they're not 100% sure he's 100%? They might as well just wait. I don't think to me, the issue is the bigs. The guards, they got plenty of guards. This one comes in from the Unidentified Celebrity Review. We appreciate the donation. I guess I got to read it. Highsmith is a bum. There you go. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a royal thing? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so this guy is the most consistent donation guy.
Shout out to you.
Every single game, he'll donate $5. And
there you go.
He'll typically say Duncan is a bum, but this game, it's Highsmith is a bum.
Duncan is too.
You're see, that's gonna end up clipped by Ricky. See, you can't do that. Ricky's not here tonight. Jonathan, all royal responsibilities you have to take tonight, because we don't get donations on the podcast. We don't that doesn't come in. All right, so thanks for the donation. We appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, why would you force guards back in at this stage? Like, you don't need guards. You need bigs, right? Like, you need. I mean, they don't even have Akpala at this stage. Like, they need another. I mean, you can't have Yurt out there playing 36 to 40 minutes a game. So, I mean, or having to play Chris Silva. So it's more important that Dedmon or Morris or Tucker, like, give me two. Like, just right, Brady, just give me two of those, and they're fine.
It's funny because if you were to ask me like what player, and this may sound crazy, but if what player would have helped them most tonight, like if you could have picked one of the injured players, I may have taken Dedmon. Like, it just feels like that if you look plus, I think it was plus 11 Yurtseven, and it was a minus 11 with Silva. They just needed one more big, and you hit on it right there. Like, if those minutes, they just needed to have a serviceable big that could just rebound at the same level, score at the same level, and play the same exact game. Like, they're not looking for a lot. Like, I think the issue I had during this game, I feel like during the Silva minutes especially, is that they revert back to Bam things in a lot of these lineups. And they did it at the beginning with Omer, and I saw it again with Silva, where they worked the ball through him in the middle of the floor, almost like he's Bam. And it's like they did it a bit with Dedmon as well at the beginning when Bam first got hurt. And it feels like you cannot shift in that direction. It almost feels like when things go wrong, they go in that direction that we're going to work the ball in here and go back to what usually works. They got away from it like decently quickly, but it still just feels like there's too many stretches where that happens, that just can never be the case. Bam is a limited player in this league, that he's one of the few players that can do stuff like that. That's a work offense that you're big like that. Can't be the case. But obviously when you can simplify things and you can have an Omer and have a Dedmon, all they need is kind of just get Dwayne back. And I think they'll be in a decent spot, at least with the bigs. Because Omer, like, I don't know if you guys touched on it before, but he's shown that he can be serviceable right now. Like, he's not one of these other projects that they have. Like, he's not a KZ Okpala where you're constantly pushing down the line. Like, this is a guy that can play right now. I don't know if it's at the same level of a playoff rotation that you're looking at, but it's just you can play him when things go wrong and be your regular season big.
Well, and to your point about like trying certain possessions to like turn Chris Silva into Bam Adebayo, they lost by one possession tonight. Right? I mean, they lost by literally one possession. Like, so some of this stuff where
one of those Simba, listen to me. One of those Silva fumbled passes by Jimmy that would be dunks if it was Bam. Damn it.
Right. Well, that's the thing. So what I'm saying is, like, there are certain times where Jimmy Butler forgets he's Jimmy Butler. Like, I don't want to see him trying to set up, Highsmith in the corner. Like, it's that one, because one possession decides you a game like this. And, he's your superstar, and we just saw it the other night. I just thought he was too passive tonight. All right, we're going to take a few more comments. It's not going to be a long post-up show tonight. I've already hosted 3 shows today. I'm exhausted. Most of us sat through that Dolphin game, okay? So we don't even want to go there. We're going to take some more comments, but I do want to address one thing, though. This thing that came in during the game, which probably if we'd potted tonight, we would have gotten into on 5 on the floor more, on whether Hero can play in the starting lineup with Lowry and Butler consistently. It feels like this is a theme that came up tonight. You sent me a tweet, Greg, from an NBA writer that I think we all follow, talking about that. I mentioned the percentages. He got it going a little bit, but I guess it still doesn't feel natural enough.
It doesn't, because they play in the rotation differently. So right now there would be an adjustment period. And I think people are just, because sometimes they've had moments where they look great together late in games or in fourth quarters when they're all playing, like they think that stuff would just translate all the time. That would take time to build up that chemistry. I think that we've seen pieces that don't quite fit perfectly do great in starting lineups in championship teams in Miami. This would not be one of those scenarios. Don't overthink it. Tyler Hero will be fine next to Jimmy Butler as long as his shooting keeps up where it is. If he's at the 40% mark, he will do what's necessary for them to have the spacing and fit in perfectly. I wouldn't look too much into it. Now, obviously, if they get eliminated early and Tyler's out there starting because Spo makes that switch and it goes to pieces, there will be conversations to be had in the offseason. But for now, I think it's overblown to look at that with any level of like that is an indictment on their ability to build around these guys and keep them together as the core.
All right, we're going to take the next 5 comments, okay? Next 5 comments that we like. If it's super chats, we'll definitely take them, okay? 5 comments and out tonight. Thanks to Jonathan for filling in here and handling the production. Brady for jumping in. Greg, 5 on the floor. We'll bring it back tomorrow. This was unexpected but we felt we needed to get a post-up show going after we didn't have one the other night. So we'll take the next 5. Jonathan, roll them out.
It's fun to switch it up.
Yeah, why not? I feel better with Tyler coming from the bench. I do too. I mean, don't we all, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Spo
fair?
too. Spo too.
Yeah.
He's tried to do everything he can to keep him on the bench most games.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And to your point about using him in the starting lineup, I do want to say one thing that it almost feels like they should shift him in a bit. Like you're talking about him being that catch and shoot guy, and if he shoots the ball well, but like put him in a Duncan role, like put him in a Max Strus role. Like why put him off the ball and just keep putting the ball in his hands? Like I know that's him as a type of player, but if you're talking about trying to fit him next to Jimmy and fit him next to Kyle, it almost feels like during those times, make him more of an off the catch type of player and see where it goes. Like it's not like you have to restrict him. But just from possession to possession, if he's off and you're trying to find a way, defenders respect him enough that they're not going to pull off him either on a Jimmy drive. So it just feels like that's a way to go at times if they can just mix it up.
It makes Duncan more expendable.
Oh, God. You're really pushing this theme. Sean Rochester is going to cut you off at the knees. Go ahead, Jonathan.
All right, so I'm going to take this one to Potterhead. I love the name, by the way. Are the boys feeling good versus Golden State? So if you didn't know, Ethan, at the end of the games, Roy usually asks about the next game.
Yes, that I'm familiar with.
Ethan, the boy feeling good?
The boy's not feeling good. That's all I have to say. That's my answer. They're not winning tomorrow night.
The boy feeling good?
Heat win at the buzzer. Your boy feeling real good. Guts.
Let's go.
Rio? It's the waiter's walk-off. Rio.
No, you know what? Tomorrow night, I'm going with Kyle Lowry wins the game for them.
I will say this. Kyle has a history of torturing Golden State. That is true. He has, look it up. He's got a pretty good history of that. Brady?
Yeah, just seeing the consistency of the offense tonight and just seeing how it's gone, I just can't trust the Golden State game. Like, it just feels like they're just too consistent offensively to just hurt you. That if they have a dry spell like they did in this Sacramento game, like it's just long over. Like you're not coming back and down 4 at halftime. I just can't. I don't know. That does not feel like a game to me. That they
Brady, you got to say it though. You got to say your boy feeling good or your boy not feeling good.
Boy not feeling good.
There we go.
Well, since there's no Royal here, the Heat are gonna blow this shit out, and we are going to get the win. We got Mario Chalmers. Regardless if we play or if we don't play, he is the longest tenured champion between either of the two teams. He got his ring before Steph Curry, so it matters a little bit more.
That's true. That's true.
We're gonna get it done. The Heat get it done. The boy is feeling good.
All right, the boy's feeling good. Give me one more, Jonathan. I may have lied. This may be the last one. Go ahead.
It's a good one by Roshan Robinson.
Is it best for the Heat to get the 4 seed?
No, not at all.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm frozen.
Like for me, I anticipate that Milwaukee or Brooklyn will end up the 1 seed, and so I want to avoid them. So I want the 2-3 matchup so that you don't have to deal with either one of those two, because the other one could end up falling to 4, and that would be fantastic. I want Chicago in the second round if possible. So like that's how the path to that to me is the 2-3.
So let me ask, which one of the 3 teams, as we lose Ethan to Ethernet, which one of those 3 teams between, like you said, one of those teams will go up, Chicago or Brooklyn, which one falls to 4, or Milwaukee? Which one?
I think Chicago. I actually, if I was really to go through it, I would say it's going to end up being Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Miami, Chicago. I don't think Chicago will end up. So that means that they'll end up having to face Milwaukee in the second round anyway.
Yeah.
So would you rather? So here's the question. I'm trying to like keep us going here until Ethernet comes back. Ethernet. Would you rather face Brooklyn in the second round or Milwaukee in the second round?
Brooklyn.
I disagree. I would rather face Milwaukee. I think it's the same thing as last year, like how it flipped almost in many ways, how Miami
you said
Milwaukee
this
came
before.
back.
You're right.
I just feel like and Ethan brought up the point in the last podcast that we did when we talked about this, where he said about PJ Tucker. I just feel like that's the biggest thing here. Like Miami having PJ Tucker, that is a big deal for Milwaukee in a playoff series. Looking back to last year, even like I think Miami's chance is healthy. And I don't know if we can assume health at this stage because it just feels like we can't assume guys being healthy. But if it was, PJ Tucker makes a difference in my opinion. That I don't trust them playing against Brooklyn as much just because they have so many weapons. And I feel like they can hurt them in that area. That if they play Milwaukee, even if Brook Lopez is there, just PJ Tucker not being there, I think that's the better matchup.
So Brady simplified it. It's essentially whatever path is keeps Brooklyn away from Miami the longest. That's the answer right there, right?
Yeah. I think Brooklyn's last between Milwaukee, Chicago, and Brooklyn. Like, I feel like you'd rather see those two in that order.
Do you think Chicago has any chance if they play 4-1 to knock out Brooklyn?
No.
I won't say I don't think there's a chance, but it's very low chance, if anything.
Yeah. Ethan texted me saying that he's not going to make it back. So, Greg, I don't know if you want to close this one out.
Yeah, no. So any final thoughts? I don't know how we normally close, and I'm not going to be as fun and colorful and all that as Royal likely would take us out. So essentially, we got that one comment there. Let's sneak one more in just to is there another comment we can go to? Or did it get
not
it
so
got
much
quiet? All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. Any final thoughts from you guys before I close this thing out?
Sucks that we couldn't get the shot at the rim to go. You know, it's like right there. But hey, regardless, we still got a lot of good things coming soon. We still got a lot of players coming back from protocol. Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. We see in these games how important the back of the lineup is, right? Having those guys to just give you those extra couple of minutes, that 1 or 2 possession that'll save you the game is important. So can't wait to get those guys back. But yeah, overall, well, let's try to get that win tomorrow, as unlikely as it may be.
You know, the Heat are the type of team to lose to Sacramento and then go and beat Golden State because they play up. So I'm hoping they play up.
And by the way, we see the same Kings Heat game every year. So like the fact that we're surprised, it's just the same exact game repeated over and over and over.
It's so true. And, you know, we talked about that their last 9 games was decided by, 10 points or less? Well, here's another one. So now it's 10 games in a row. So we knew this would be close. We shouldn't be too surprised. Want to once again shout out our sponsors, Aggressive Insurance by Lynette, a friend of the program, friend of all 5 Reasons Sports programs. So definitely check her out at 954-581-8800. That's Aggressive Insurance by Lynette, Aggressive Insurance. And thank you all for checking us out. I know this isn't your normal cast of characters. Hopefully those fools will be back soon so that there can be a little bit more, a little bit less culture, we'll say, because if I'm not on, then there's less culture. Peace.
Jimmy buckets, clutch time. Tyler Hero, what a finisher he's become.
Lane, Oladipo, oh, that's right. You better mean mug after you dunk on somebody that way.